That's how you start a show right there. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome, everybody, to Yesterday's News. I'm George.
I'm Earl.
It's Yesterday's News with Earl and George. Thank you guys for tuning in. Man, what a week. What a week. We got Sean Spicer retiring. We got OJ out of prison. We got new Ford Broncos. Man, well, it's crazy. I want to say hello to Mr. Producer. How you doing in there? You got
How's it going?
It's good. Okay, good. Man, all right. How are you?
I got no complaints. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right.
My belly's full.
That was pretty good. I had the grilled chicken salad today.
Just the regular burger.
You had a regular old, yeah.
Onions are kicking, though.
It could be. We're going to be throughout the show today. You're going to hear like, so Obama sucks. Burp. All right. So if this is your first time tuning in to Yesterday's News, welcome. This is a political talk show. So if you're looking for music, you're in the wrong place. However, if you want to be entertained and educated about how screwed up things are in Washington D.C., and you want to hear about it from a couple of Alabama boys, you're in the right place. All right. And by the way, you can reach out to us on Facebook, Yesterday's News on Facebook, or
Earl and George.
Conveniently, Earl and George on Facebook. Just, is your name harder to spell or my name? Because everybody's going to misspell George. Nobody can spell George.
Yeah, I think your name is harder to misspell.
EO. That's all I can remember. EO. GEO or G. And then earlandgeorge.com. And eventually we're going to have stuff for you to buy because, we got to pay Mr. Producer. Today I paid him. What'd I pay you? I paid you in an oyster po' boy.
Why do you have trouble saying oyster right there?
Because, I don't know. Oyster po' boy. It's the oyster po I have a problem with. All right. And I would have normally a giant glass of extra sweet tea. But I'm trying to lose weight.
I was going to say, aren't you on a diet? You just had a salad for lunch.
Yeah, I'm trying. I smothered in Thousand Island. Give me a little credit, all right? I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm drinking water and I'm pretending that it's sweet tea. So that's So when I drink the water, I'm like, oh, that is so good. I'm lying. It's freaking water. Okay,
Water's good.
All right. And you also said that we were on Instagram and Twitter and Spreaker and SoundCloud, and we're everywhere.
Yep,
we're big. I can't say that line the way we normally say it because that's actually copyrighted by two other fat guys, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, that's what I figured. Okay, all right. we are big. I can say that.
Yep.
Or we're gonna be. Right now, it's Yesterday's News. So some people, you said some people might have trouble with the name. Yesterday's News. Why would that be?
I think some people are going to be like, oh, well, whatever they're telling us, we've already heard.
Yeah, and they would be right. They'd be exactly right. But you haven't heard it from us.
And they haven't heard it with our flair.
Exactly. Because what you're going to get here is you're going to get just three friends. Sorry, Mr. Producer. Three friends. Sorry.
I guess I'm not a friend anymore.
Three friends talking about politics in depth. Okay, we're gonna, as they say in the business community, we're gonna do a deep dive. We go into it. Okay, I have studied. I love politics, and I bring some stuff. And Earl, I don't know what the hell you do.
Well, we're gonna go into it. We're gonna go into it without boring them. Is what we need to say.
Like that. All right. So what we got this week? It's a wrap up show. So if you don't consume news like we do, then this is the show for you. And if you do consume news like we do, this is the show for you. So there it is. Now, biggest news story of the week. What do you think?
Well, breaking today was the whole Sean Spicer.
Actually, that broke yesterday.
Sean Spicer retiring or resigning.
Yeah.
Sorry, not retiring.
Yeah,
resigning.
yesterday. That broke yesterday, right about lunchtime, because Scaramucci. Doesn't that sound like a Bond villain? Anthony Scaramucci, right?
He could be.
It's Scaramanga. What's the Bond villain's name? Scaramanga.
Not a Bond fan.
Look it up, Mr. Producer. It's what we pay you in oysters for. Oysters and beer.
I'm still waiting on the pearls.
By the way, I have. Dang it, I'm on a diet, man. Because I'd have a Blue Moon or a what would you? I mean, right now, Saturday afternoon, 12-ish, right after lunch.
I'm a Guinness guy.
You're Guinness?
Yeah.
I'm not a Guinness guy. I do have some
Captain Morgan.
I have some Captain Morgan in my office in there. Yeah, so that's on those days when it's like, I can't take you anymore, world. Bring on the captain. That's all right. Is it an FCC violation to drink on the air? Hell, we'll find out later. When they sue us. So you think yesterday the biggest news story of the week was Sean Spicer retiring?
Yeah, I think
Anthony Scaramucci.
I think that trumped the whole OJ getting out of prison early.
I would on parole. Yeah, I'd have to say. So we're going to talk about all these stories, but I would have to say that man, Trump really I think threw him under the bus on this one.
Yep.
This guy, the Scaramucci. I don't know anything about the guy
except he's a New York financier.
New York financier. Do we trust anybody from New York? I don't.
No.
I mean, if you're not from Birmingham or Huntsville, and
That's
you don't,
about as north
and
as
you
we
don't
go.
like sweet tea, I'll give you Tennessee. If you can name 3 kinds of moonshine, you're my friend. But if you're from New York, what was that? That taco commercial? New York City,
get a rope.
I don't. Yeah,
that's what they always said because they cut the get the rope part out because people started saying it was too racist.
Really?
Yeah. It used to say, there was the paste pecani hot sauce.
New York City.
And,
that's right. They were like, get a rope.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and look at the dude. We're watching Fox News in the studio. Look at the guy. He looks like a member of the Corleone family, doesn't he?
A little bit.
Seriously. I seriously have to take this call right now. Hang on a second. Let me take this. Let me. I'm just taking it live on the air. How about we do? Hello. Hey. Can I call you right back or send you a text message? Is it pressing? Right? Is it pressing? Is it an emergency?
No. I'm just calling regarding your email.
Okay.
And they call us professionals.
About.
I have 11 to 12.
Okay.
If you have time before that.
Okay. I will. Thanks. Bye.
Wife or daughter?
Somebody in California. We won't talk about who that is.
Okay.
They do like sweet tea, though, so they're okay.
Are they from the South?
South India, maybe. So anyway, that was brought to you by the travel ban. That interlude there was brought to you by the Trump travel ban. What?
Oh, nothing.
I could say that on the radio.
Yeah.
That was y'all should just talk amongst yourselves. I could have just walked out of the studio and had a call, but I got to put food on the table for my youngins.
There you go.
And if I don't take calls like that,
You don't put food on the table.
youngins don't eat. And I have 3 daughters. And they get pissed off when they don't trust me when they don't eat. All right. Can I say that on the radio, Mr. Producer?
You're the one who owns
All right, good. Okay. All right.
We'll find out.
We are in audition. We're not in program, right?
We're totally in program.
That's good stuff. I'm just kidding. All right. So
Just roll with it.
Scaramucci, communications director, Sean Spicer got pulled for that girl. I haven't seen her yet. And then he gets rolled. He literally got Trump rolled. Resigned that fast. I got to give the guy credit. You know what? When you get rolled like that, you stand up for yourself. And
Yep.
he immediately was like, I'm resigning. I'm out.
Yep.
Like, you treat me like that, I'm out. I never was a big Sean Spicer fan. As of yesterday, he's rising his rising stock.
Well, I mean, and Trump,
I would go fishing with that guy.
Trump would always send him out there too to take the bullets too. Sometimes.
Well, that's the job of the dude who does all the press conferences.
I think he did it better than the last guy that Obama had. Then I forget the guy's name, but I think he did it better than the last White House press secretary that President Obama had. I mean, he seemed like a good guy, and the fact that, like I said, he's still serving in the Navy while doing this as well.
He's a commander in the Navy. Awesome. So we'll talk about that coming up. Also, are algebra tests to get out of college racist? I'm gonna go ahead and say yes right now. We'll just start the phone calls.
Yep, there you go.
North Korean travel ban is on the way. Of course, we're going to talk about the Obamacare repeal until everybody wants to basically shoot themselves in the face. Maxine Waters says she's going to run for president. And also, Environmentalist Earl
Yep.
is going to talk about he was yelling at me earlier because I print stuff. I have a printer. It's what it does. And I buy paper by the case, and I print stuff. So
you print a lot of stuff.
The hippie in Earl has come out.
I do object to being called an environmentalist.
So environmentalist
that lots me in with a lot of crazy people.
Environmentalist Earl was coming up. And then, of course, we've got our douchebag of the week and Up the Creek, all coming up on yesterday's news with Earl and George when we come back. Yeah, there should be some music playing or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Should we just keep talking? Oh, there it is. That's amazing how that works.
No, see,
it's supposed to be a 5-minute segment at the top of the hour, but who cares?
Well, see, I didn't know.
I literally told you it was supposed to be a 5-minute segment
I
at the
get
top
you.
of the
Yeah,
hour.
you did. Okay.
I like this, too. This is good. I'm going to call this rock southernish. We'll be right back. Yesterday's news, Earl and George. Check us out on Facebook. We'll be back.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
It's a good one, too. Yesterday's news with Earl and Jorge.
Whoa. My name's George.
My name is
your name.
George Jorge.
That's right.
Oh, I should call you Jorge.
Yeah, I was like...
We should make a persona for you. You are an illegal Panamanian who struggled to get here since the age of 7 3/4.
And now he's only paid in oysters.
Oysters and beer.
It's a step up, man.
You're an N1H1. That's a flu virus, isn't it?
Yep.
You're a visa. You're a flu visa holder.
Wow.
Yesterday's news with Earl and George. I'm George.
I'm Earl.
Yeah.
You know what? I might actually start calling you Jorge.
I don't care. All right. Hey, buddy, we need to get into some serious news here. Let's talk Obamacare repeal.
Or the lack thereof.
Yeah, McConnell says that the repeal and replace didn't work, and this, of course, is all last week. Or I guess it'd be this week. Wouldn't it be this week? Last week? This week?
This past week.
I mean, it's a Saturday, so
still the week.
This is still this week. Yeah, okay.
It's
good.
not Sunday yet.
McConnell's an idiot. We need to get rid of McConnell.
Agreed.
But
it wasn't just McConnell. It was also McCain getting sick is what actually...
well, he delayed the vote itself, but when Mike Lee of Utah came out and said, I'm not voting for this, and then when they said, fine, the repeal bill the repeal and replace, because they were trying to do it all at the same time. And this is the part I don't like. Okay. In 2010, Obama said, I got an idea. That's my Obama. I don't know. He sounds like an old guy who lives down the street from me. I got an idea. That's Bill Clinton.
Yeah, I was about to say.
What are you doing under the desk down there?
Monica.
So, Monica? What are you doing? I didn't ask for a cucumber.
Now go get my cigar.
What are you laughing at? So anyway,
Reminds me of
they come up with this massive healthcare bill. Totally changes American healthcare. Took 4 years of them taking our money to put it in place in 2014. It took 4 years. I just want to point this out. It took 4 years. It was passed in 2010 because we had to pass it to see what was in it. Right?
Yeah,
Thank you, Nancy.
Remember.
And it didn't go into effect until 2014 because they taxed us. They took our money.
Yep.
And that's when everything started to increase. 2011, 12, 13. And I posted I've been writing articles about this since then, saying, here's another 12% increase. Here's another 20% increase. Here's another. Since 2010, my family, and I got a family of 3 daughters, active kids. And thank God my wife is great. By the way, my kids were the ones running around naked when they were like 2 in diapers outside with no clothes on. Just saying. It's true. It's true. There's nothing wrong with mud when my kids were kids. So they took our money for 4 years. Obamacare goes into effect. Those of us that actually freaking pay for the thing don't get any subsidies, right?
Right.
Oh, you rich white folks. Sorry, that was racist of me. Man, whatever. I don't care. Anyway, so
racist Jorge.
So those of us who are paying for it, we don't get any subsidies. So in essence, they're just taking our money. This is the definition of redistribution of wealth. You ready for the stunning part?
Hit me with it.
3 years later, a.k.a. today, it's failing.
Miserably.
It took 4 years to put into effect, but 3 years to ruin. It was designed to fail. Here's my conspiracy theory. Put on your tinfoil hats, everybody. I think, and I'm telling you, man, it was designed to fail from the beginning in hopes that when it failed, the people who instituted it would still be in power to fix it, to Airfinger's quote, fix it.
I don't think that's a conspiracy. I think that's spot on because everybody assumed Clinton was going to win the election.
Right, but we didn't know that Obamacare was going to fail in 3 years. See, that's the thing. We didn't know that. We didn't. I seriously doubt they were sitting around the table going, "About 4 years, guys."
There were strategists. There were strategists that said it wasn't going to be solvent after 5 years.
I don't remember that bit.
Yeah,
but the theory was when it fails, we will ride in on our white horses and we will save the day with single payer health care. Now here we are, 3 years after the institution of Obamacare. It's horrible. All of our deductibles are $40 billion. My monthly premium is $12 million or whatever the hell it is. And it
sounds about right.
I'm paying. All of us are paying more money for less care
and longer times, longer waits.
If you like a doctor, you can keep your doctor.
Yeah.
The average American family is going to save $2,500 a year. That was all smoke and mirror lies, and everybody knows it now.
I think his definition of American family was the ones that don't necessarily have a job. In my opinion,
they're the ones that are not paying for health care anyway. How are they going to save $2,500 a year?
Yep.
So anyway, here we are today. McConnell, the House passes a repeal bill, barely. Thank you, Democrats, for voting no on that. Right? It's not great. It's not perfect. This goes over to the Senate. The Senate reconciles the bill. This is how the process works. And thank you, Cruz, Lee, Paul, a couple other guys for look, this is not what we promised our voters. This is not what we're here. And what pisses me off is that 80% of the Senate and most of the House all ran on repealing Obamacare. Okay? There was no, well, when it was, when I get in there, we're going to vote with this Obamacare is the worst thing. And I'm telling you, man, in 2015, they all voted to repeal Obamacare because they knew he would veto it. They didn't have any skin in the game.
Right.
But now they could go back to their constituents, wherever they are, North Carolina, Alaska, Kansas. Oh, look what I did. I voted to repeal Obamacare. And everybody's like, yeah, do it again. Did you know the House of Representatives has voted to repeal Obamacare 67 times?
No, I didn't know that.
Did you know that?
Wow.
By the way, I want to say something. On yesterday's news with him and me, don't take anything we say at face value. Please. You have the vast knowledge of human history at your fingertips. At least most of you do. And if you don't, go to the library. It's the big building full of books that nobody goes to anymore. You can look all the stuff up for yourself. It's like 60-something times. It's 67, 62, whatever.
That's still a high number, even if
60.
you're like 10 off.
The House of Representatives. Have you heard that on the news? Have you heard Fox News talking about it? No, 60, I think it's 62 times they voted to repeal Obamacare. Senate?
Wow.
Goose egg. Now, they come up with this repeal bill, which is like, we're going to repeal Obamacare. Really? What are you doing? Leaving it in total place. Everything's like, we're going to take this piece out here and maybe the mandate. That'll be enough.
The penalty just won't be as severe.
Pre-existing conditions, blah, blah, blah. That's not a repeal. Senator of Alabama, House of Representatives member Congressman Mo Brooks put together a repeal bill, sent it to the House of Representatives, had one sentence. One. And I'm paraphrasing. Completely and irrevocably undo everything Obamacare has done since its passage. Now, where are all the representatives signing that? What, they didn't even get to the floor of the House. Come on, Paul Ryan. Have a little chutzpah. That's a Jewish word. It means balls. Put it on the floor, man. Vote for it.
So why do you think they're not?
Well, that election year's around the corner. I'm just saying. So now we are with the Senate, and they're like, look, repeal doesn't work. Replace doesn't work, so let's repeal it. And I'm like, heck yeah. Now, this is why Ted Cruz spent 13 hours on the Senate floor. This is why Mike Lee stands up and talks about Obamacare. This is why Rand Paul talks about reducing the burden on American citizens to pay for health care they don't use, that's overpriced, and that somebody else is benefiting from. That's not America.
Never has been. What about the chick that wanted all the free birth control, though? She's the one benefiting from it.
The Octomom? Or No. You're
the college student.
Oh, I remember her name. I got it right into my tongue.
Oh, she was
Fluke.
Yeah, something like that.
I got to be careful here. Fluck.
I think it was Sandra Fluke.
Fluck. Probably a dude.
But she was up there talking about how she couldn't afford her birth control.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
They made her the pioneer of why they were pushing for the Affordable Care Act to be put in place.
Yeah, because her promiscuity is our responsibility.
Yeah. And then she went to Congress and actually testified about her sex life. Yeah.
I remember that. Yep. So, what do we do, Earl?
Personally, I would go with what Mo Brooks wanted to do.
Absolutely.
I want the whole thing. I want it gutted.
By the way, Mo Brooks. This is not a commercial for Mo Brooks. He's running for Senate against Luther Strange and 1,900 other dudes for senator in that state of Alabama. From the House, he's going to move over to the Senate.
Taking Senator Sessions.
It was Luther Strange was given. He was appointed by a governor who was resigned in disgrace, whatever his name was. Can't remember. So now they're running. There's a special election and so on. But that's how you do it. Here's the deal. When they say we're going to repeal Obamacare, they make it sound as though on a Monday they're going to repeal Obamacare, and on Tuesday, according to the government accounting office, 32 million people are going to die.
Right.
That's the way they make it sound. Even though...
Just drop like that.
Yeah. Hey, we've repealed Obamacare. Bam! 32 million people, like the rapture, gone. Just like blah, bam. Now, honestly, I could think of 32 million people I'd like to see drop dead right now. But
at the same time...
That's another story.
Have you ever heard in this country of anybody not being able to go and get health care anywhere?
Of course not, and I have a personal story about that. After this, what we all know is that when the Senate repeals Obamacare, it only takes one sentence on the bill, and it takes them, clear majority?
Yep.
Is it 51?
Yep.
51% of the House, percent of the Senate. Then it goes to the president and gets signed into law. Obamacare stays in effect for 2 more years while they work to build a patient-centered health care. But that's not what you hear. The GAO said that 32 million people are going to drop dead tomorrow. And you know what? I'm not talking to anybody in this building right now. You're stupid enough to believe that.
Yep.
Why are you, dear listener of this show, stupid enough to believe that crap? Now, you're probably saying, George, you can shut your pie hole because I'm not stupid enough to believe it. Good for you. But I guarantee you, the person in the car next to you listening to this show is stupid enough to believe that. That's what they do to us in the media. That's why they call it fake. That's why, there's all this fake news, all that moniker flying around. It's not because you're stupid, because you're not, because you're listening to the show. And if you're listening to the show, then you like sweet tea. And it makes you smart.
And Captain Morgan.
Fried chicken. And oyster po' boys, apparently. What it means is that the majority of the people in America don't go and research and consume what their government does. I guarantee you right now, you ask people how many state representatives are there, they wouldn't be able to tell you. If you said how many congressmen are there, they wouldn't be able to tell you. How many senators? 100. Yeah, you got that one right. Remember that from third grade. What are the three branches of government? Most people can't tell you. And especially when they get to the granular side of how does a bill get passed? Who funds it? Where's the money come? How does government accounting work? Nobody knows that.
Yeah, didn't the ACA actually start in the Senate? And isn't it supposed to start in the House?
No, funding starts in the House. Anybody can propose a bill, but the president is the one who proposed it in the Senate.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, and then it had to go to the House for reconciliation and funding. That's when Nancy famously stood up and said, we got to pass it to see what's in it.
See, I thought...
Because it was 3,500 pages of regulation that went into everything that you do. It goes, and I'm not talking to you, Earl. I'm talking to the people listening. It's in your taxes, as we all know. It's in your health care. They changed all of the codes in the doctor's offices.
Yep. Prices went up.
And like insurance, this and that, the other thing. It's not that difficult, guys. And as we go to a break, when we come back, we're going to talk about this college algebra test. It's not that difficult, okay?
But what about the whole too big to fail?
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm going to throw out some stuff, and if you agree with me, I want you to roll down your window wherever you are. I want you to yell, hell yes, out the window. You ready? Do you want lower taxes?
Hell.
Do you want smaller government? I can hear you. Believe me, I can hear you. Do you want to control your own health care? Yes. Do you want to be able to take care of your family and their health care? And if somebody has a cheaper price across state? Hell yes. We'll be right back. It's yesterday's news with Earl and George.
Welcome back to the Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, and of course, companionship. Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
Fantastic cat. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You asked for the best. You got the best. The greatest rock band in the world. I thought I was going to say, this isn't even a Kiss song, so that doesn't really matter.
You know who this is.
Leonard Skinner. What? I don't know. Who is this?
Since Wolfmother.
I don't know. Good stuff, though. Yesterday's news with Earl and George. By the way, during the break, I finished a bottle of water, and I walked into the control room and threw it away in the trash can. Right, Mr. Producer? That's what you would do.
Of course. Everybody would do that, right?
Immediately upon returning to said studio where we are now, my dear and close friend, Earl, says to me, and I quote, "See, that should have gone into a recycling bin."
I thought we were doing this later.
And I'm like, well, who the hell put you in charge, Miss Feinstein?
Well,
It's like Leonardo DiCaprio, everybody's in the studio.
But I was telling you that I'm trying to make the conscious effort of recycling and doing what I can for plastics and all of that. Okay. And then you just chunked it in the trash. I'm like, see, that should have gone into a recycling bin.
Right.
I meant...
All right, look here, Al Gore. Do you know how much it costs to turn one plastic bottle into a plastic bottle?
Cheap, I'm quite sure.
More expensive than it is to make another freaking plastic bottle.
Ooh, is it just like pennies?
Huh.
So I want to make something very clear. I am a huge proponent of what's called upcycling. So if I were to take the plastic bottle and cut it in half and then put topsoil in the bottom and put a seed in there and use it as a planter.
Right.
Okay. Or seedlings or whatever. That's upcycling. That's using something for something it wasn't designed for, but that, human innovation can do that. But when we take that or for example, let's take your plastic bottle and let's take the plastic bottle and melt it down and make it into plastic 2x4s. And then, we use plastic 2x4s for decking or whatever. Okay. I'm okay with that. But what they've sold us on as far as recycling is, I'm going to take this plastic bottle and then I'm going to recycle it into a plastic bottle. Hey, genius. It's already a freaking plastic bottle. You don't need to recycle it into anything. Here's something else you probably didn't know about recycling. Did you know that they both go into the same truck?
Yes.
So that means that at some facility somewhere, we're paying someone to go through all of our garbage and pull out all the things that aren't magnetic, because we can do that with magnets.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Oh, here's something else. Here's something else you probably didn't know. I could do this all day. There's only two things we should be recycling, in my opinion.
Which are?
Two things: aluminum and glass. Aluminum and glass have a much higher recycling rate than any other product. Paper, cardboard, those are fibers. Those are the biological material. They break down when you take paper pulp and melt it down and do all whatever you do it and make it into paper again. All this recycled junk, right? This is 80% recycled material. That's well and good. It's never going to be again. You can't take that 80% recycled material, cardboard, McDonald's box or whatever, and make it into something because the fibers break down.
Right.
But in aluminum and in glass, you could do it over and over and over and over and over and over, and it wouldn't do it. Same. Guess what? This is a petroleum-based product.
Right.
Okay? It's a biological product. It's not a chemical product. So if you were to take this and do something else with it, like, I don't know, make a water wheel or plant stuff in it or whatever, use it as, do it this way, you make walls out of it, whatever you want to do with it, or turn it into something else made out of plastic, ergo 2x4s. Because when I was at where's Old Faithful? I was at Old Faithful years and years ago. All the decking around Old Faithful, it's all like recycled laundry detergent bottles.
Wow.
You can't tell, but it's that plasticky material. Huh. It's really thick and hard, and it was 2x6s. Absolutely fantastic idea. Oh, here's something else you didn't know.
Plastic bottles, though.
National Stone Park or whatever, Yellowstone Park.
Here's exactly. Thank you. Here's something else you didn't know. Did you know that when you take your ketchup plastic bottle and you put it in the recycling bin, did you know that it's contaminated?
Yes.
Oh, you did know that?
Because it's got food. Yeah.
Because it's got food in it. Anything that touches food is now contaminated, and it can't be recycled.
Right. Because we live out in Montevallo, and they told us.
And everybody listening around the world has no idea where Montevallo is. It's somewhere in the middle of Alabama.
It's the middle of nowhere in Alabama. And they told us that they could take anything plastic as long as it didn't touch food.
Yep.
And they told us why. But like I said, it was just a conscious effort of trying to recycle the plastics because of all the plastics ending up in the ocean.
This is a multi-trillion-dollar scam.
Yeah. Sounds like it now.
Multi-trillion-dollar scam. Now, again, I'm a fan of upcycling, and I will do whatever it takes to protect our environment and leave it for our children. But I'm not going to go rooting through my garbage on a daily basis. Did you know that more people, here's something you didn't know, more people root through their garbage to separate out paper, plastic, aluminum, glass, whatever, from the garbagey foodstuffs?
Yeah.
Than vote. We can get Americans to dig through their own garbage, but we can't get them to show up to the polls once every 4 years?
And vote for people that would change the policies.
We are sheep.
Yeah.
We are sheep. Now, ready? If it makes you feel good to recycle, knock yourself out. Absolutely. My kids were Girl Scouts. Dad, we got to recycle. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm paying for it anyway. Right? We're all paying for it. Part of our little garbage service costs and part of it, and all that's fine. But part of the cost of this new fancy water bottle goes into, making another water bottle. So people are like, well, gee, you need to have a recycling bin and this and that and the other thing. I'm like, no, I don't. I know that, Juan down at the garbage recycling. Oh, sorry, I said George. Juan down at the garbage recycling plant. He could do it for me.
Right.
Why? Because I paid a half a cent for this bottle of water. Sorry. You're right. Sorry. Anyway, so Environmentalist Earl.
Yes.
Here at the radio station.
I don't like being called environmentalist because, like I said, that knocks me in with a lot of wild wild people.
And look, you're going to come up with monikers for me too, right? Like gun toting George. So anytime you say something like, "Oh, that should be a recycling bin," your environmentalist Earl's coming out.
Well, that was true. Like I said, after you pointed it out, it was like, oh.
And by the way, we don't have recycle bins here. We don't have aluminum. We don't have any of that stuff. However, I have thought about making all the lights LED.
That's a start.
Yeah, but like, I'm not a fan of the low flow toilets.
No.
If you've ever met me, you know why.
Yeah, again, I'm not to that extreme.
I'm not. You know, I don't want to have a low flow shower.
Mm-mm.
I don't want, and all that stuff. And I've lived in areas that do all that nonsense. I just can't. And when you take your family to the local creek to volunteer for cleanup day or whatever that is, awesome.
Yeah, but most of that stuff ends up being recycled too, though.
When you pack out, if you're a backpacker, I'm a country. I love backpacking. I love camping. I'll go deep in the woods and get away from all of you people. I pack out more than what I take in. So, we use somebody else's fire pit and there's aluminum crap everywhere and cans and stuff. We'll pack all that out. I have taught my daughters, we specifically take plastic bags because I know that a bunch of teenagers in there, they're smoking and doing other stuff they're not supposed to according to the Bible, and I'm going to pack it out. I packed out a dog. I went backpacking one time, got to the campsite, we got done, packed out, and there's a dog. We named him Carlos and took him to the local place, and they got him a family and stuff. I named him Carlos after the
Carlos
baby.
Mencia?
No, from the baby from The Hangover.
Oh,
Carlos. Yeah, we named the dog Carlos. It was a great story. Anyway, so what is your thought on? I mean,
I was just saying,
I'm going to drink some non-GMO gluten-free
It was
water
a comment that was, like you said, it was taken out of context completely and turned into something that it wasn't meant to be.
Oh, it's my fault now.
No.
That's exactly what he's saying, Gene. That's exactly what he's saying.
Tell Gene. He did it. He just did it too.
Oh my God, George. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna call you Jorge.
Okay.
That's easier.
Yeah.
But I was just saying was we had just got done talking about how I said that I was trying to make the conscious effort of recycling, and then you just go and chucked a water bottle into the trash can, and I was like, see, that should have gone into the recycling bin.
I also flushed my toilet paper down the toilet. Would you like to get that?
No, that's
you're not going to recycle that.
No, see,
why not?
It's not. I said I'm making a conscious effort of doing things.
Oh, you're only willing to go so far for the environment.
Exactly.
So you're not willing to go the entire.
That's why I'm
way.
not an environmentalist. It's just I pick and choose my battle.
So then, like you didn't hear all this, but we had this big exchange where he showed me this video of this person accosting this fishing family last week, and I was like, "You just did to me what that guy did on the." He's like, "No, I didn't." Like, "Yeah, you did."
And then it was like
he's like, "Oh crap, I did."
Yep. Pretty quick brought me back to reality.
That's okay. If you want to recycle. I have no problem with you recycling. I
wasn't trying to tell you that you should recycle. I was just saying.
By the way, do you know where I got all this information about recycling and garbage? Why I seem like a subject matter expert on recycling and garbage?
I'm guessing you Googled it.
No, because you and I both know the same guy I got all this information from.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
Roberto.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
We're not going to say his last name. Or
right.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking just the other week about it.
Seriously?
Yeah. We were talking about plastic bottles and all this stuff. He's
Dude.
Like, yeah. Total multi-million-dollar scam.
Well, I knew it was a profitable business, but
yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. In San Francisco, they have bins for everything. They have a compost bin.
Right.
They have a recycle bin and they have a landfill bin.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't care. It's a trash can. I have 3 trash cans. I just sit like, I'm going to hit one of them. And I toss it across the room.
Do you miss every time almost?
No, I mean, you walk over there and you do it. And then it's
no,
like,
I was expecting a joke because you got 3 of them. You got 3 of them. And I'm saying, you know what I mean?
See, I'm really bad at basketball. See, that's the joke.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Producer. All right. Are we done there? Can we talk about
Yes, we're done. Move on.
Are you done talking about my lack of recycling?
I'm slowly, sleeking in my chair now.
And I will have this debate with anybody. I mean, but you what if I'd thrown away food?
Well, see, we used to take food and use it as compost and
exactly.
stuff.
See, food is biodegradable. It turns into dirt.
Right.
Right. Over time, You can mix it with dirt. It becomes they feed your plants and so on. So the chicken that you're throwing away tonight, 3 months from now goes underneath your flower pot, basically. Right. Okay. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about I was going to talk about the civil rights issue with the algebra test, but you brought up a much better point during the break about the special counsel. That happened this week too.
Yep.
I always want to say last week.
How do we want to say it?
I always want. I mean, I know it's a Saturday afternoon, but things happened yesterday, like the Spicer thing.
Right.
Right. Was that this week? Why does it feel like last week to me?
That's this week.
So it's this week. We're just okay. All right. So yesterday's news with Earl and George is going to be in the present.
Right. Because again, most people think the week ends on Sunday. Some people think it ends on Friday, though. So,
well, what's the first day of the week?
Monday.
Or is it Sunday?
It's usually Monday.
No, Monday's the first day of the work week. What's the first day of the calendar week? Look on your calendar.
Yeah, Sunday.
That's good. All right, so we'll talk about, when we come back, we're going to talk about the investigation of nowhere. The investigation of nothing.
The Russians. The Russians are coming.
We're going to talk to my friend Vlad, the Russian, the crazy Russian. I don't do a very good Russian accent. Yesterday's news with Earl and George. George is not the environmentalist. We'll be right back.
Chris, you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
There's your comic book collection, the race car bed.
I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I'm taking control over my financial life, and that feels pretty grown up to me.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Are those footy pajamas?
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Oh, Mr. Producer's gone all funky on us, man. Yesterday's news. I'm George.
I'm Earl.
The environmentalist. I'm not that.
Pseudo-environmentalist.
No. I'm just not kidding. So, if you're just joining the show, welcome to Yesterday's News with Earl and George. And by the way, you're going to hear things on this show that you're probably not going to hear anywhere else.
Definitely not going to hear anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, our kind of our motto is, 100-proof, aged, political conservative talk. Whatever. And that's because I'm old. And I'm
so not. You're saying it's about equivalent to moonshine?
That's yeah.
Or whiskey.
Whiskey, good old whiskey. I might go and have a.
Oh well,
I'm on a diet, but it's a Saturday afternoon, and I might have a little snort, as they say, from the bottle. I do it anyway. As long as the FCC doesn't find out, but you can't say snort anymore from the bottle because everybody's. You know that it's called
that's very
because everybody thinks that you're snorting cocaine.
Right?
Did you know that the glass you drink
whiskey?
No, the glass you drink liqueur out of the
decanter.
It's called a snifter.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. So and it's man, I'm trying to think. It's brandy. It's a brandy snifter, and here's the beautiful thing about it. So it's that one that comes up like this, right? It's got that's wide at the bottom. You take that, and you lay it on its side, and pour the liquor into it until it's level but doesn't come back out of the snifter. That's the perfect amount. If you never knew how to pour, man, I mean, I'm not an alcoholic, but I can tell you how to pour the perfect amount into a brandy snifter. There you go.
Wow. I didn't know. Learn something new every day.
Useful stuff. Okay. Robert Mueller, everybody's favorite White House, everybody's special counsel.
Yep.
Everybody's favorite counsel. Now,
if you're on the left.
How dumb are the Trumps? I mean, how stupid is this family? They have to be absolutely the dumbest human beings on earth.
Yep.
Okay? And here's why. When you commit a crime, what you don't do is send the evidence to the media for them to point out that you have done a crime.
Right.
In this case, by the way, we all know there was no crime. And if there was, how stupid are the Trumps to send the information and say, look, here's all of our emails, guys, knock yourself out. Here's something else I found interesting about this whole case. Comey wrote a memo. You know, the memo hasn't been released yet.
Right.
You know, they're saying the memo can't be released for national security reasons. So the meeting between the president and the FBI director, he makes a memo, sends it to his friend who is intended to send it to some newspaper. That can't be released. But an email between the candidate, the Republican candidate's son, and a Russian thing, and like 5 other people in the room.
Right.
Right? Oh, it's absolutely. Knock yourself out. Here you go. Here's what we talked about. Nothing came out of it.
Did they finish identifying everybody that was in the meeting?
I think there's 2 more people they don't know.
Huh.
And obviously one of them is going to be an alien. Right?
Right.
Glock Black from, the Planet X, who's here to take over our country. Everybody knows this.
Or currently running the country.
Right. No.
Trump's a puppet. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty much a sock puppet.
Yeah.
And the other one is going to be, obviously, a member of ISIS. Abdu Muhammad Abu Babubu. He's going to be in there because he had his knife chopping head, his head chopping knife and everything.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I am not a politically correct human being, am I?
Me neither, but
yeah,
I have to be for.
And frankly, I don't care. So whatever. So they go to this meeting, right? And I think this was after the Ukrainian meeting with the member of the DNC. Just want to point that out. Yeah. So Trump Jr. goes and meets this Russian journalist, whatever her name is. Vladimir, whatever her name is. And
wasn't a journalist, was it? It was a lawyer.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And she has this sort of past, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. So anyway, nothing there, man. There's literally nothing there. And we've been screaming forever. Look, there's no evidence. There's absolutely no evidence. I posted. Oh man, I got this funny one. Did you see my post the other day? I got to read this.
Probably.
Oh yeah. It was about Maxine Waters. This shows you. Can I read the Maxine Waters quote? The article that I wrote about her, because this is how journalists do their work. You ready?
Oh, I do remember this one.
Yeah. This counts for journalism in America. You ready? According to an unidentified source with absolutely no evidence whatsoever, it appears that California Representative Maxine Waters eats children. According to unconfirmed and undocumented reports that have yet to surface, Democrat Maxine Waters owns a house made entirely of candy, to which lost German children are apparently drawn. Inside this munchable mansion, Miss Waters captures the children, forces them to eat outrageous amounts of candy, then pushes them into an oven, apparently with the intent of devouring their juicy bits. A clear violation of the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act passed by the Obama administration. Attempts to reach former First Lady Michelle Obama regarding the appalling dietary standards within the House have gone without reply. This sweet house of horrors has apparently not been annotated on any of Miss Waters' required financial filings with the Federal Elections Commission, and as of this writing, no investigation into Mrs. Waters' other real estate holdings have yet to be conducted as far as this news organization knows. This news agency is calling for an immediate, thorough, and extremely time-consuming, not to mention expensive, investigation into these startling allegations. Appointment of a special counsel seems a prudent course of action, as does the immediate hiring of an army of lawyers to conduct intensive depositions of all Miss Waters' associates, colleagues, acquaintances, hairstylists, lobbying buddies, foreign relations, pets, hobbies, and previous ethics violations, of which there are many, to make sure that this investigation is drawn out over the entire existence of human habitation on this planet. Regardless of the complete lack of evidence, we believe that Mrs. Waters' crime should not go unpunished. And as the investigation progresses, we believe that the truth will come out, should we need to fabricate it or not.
And the truth shall set you free.
Hashtag the truth is out there. Hashtag we just need to dig deep enough to find it. Hashtag and if we don't actually find anything, we will still impeach her. Yep. Hashtag save the children.
About sums it up.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we do come back, we will talk about Special Counselor Mueller.
Yep.
Is that his name, Mueller?
Yep.
And now they're going after the president's finances. Why? Because that has everything to do with Russia. Yesterday's news with Earl and George. We'll be right back.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi. Sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday's news with Earl and George. I'm George.
I'm Earl.
I'm Mr. Producer. Say, come on. You can join the show.
I'm Mr. Producer.
I'm Mr. Producer. Yesterday's news on Facebook or Earl and George on Facebook. They're like dueling banjos, just better. And it's the same stuff. I mean, it's going to be the same stuff.
And there's nobody saying you got a pretty mouth.
You got a pretty mouth. EarlandGeorge.com, which I know sounds like a clothing line. Hopefully one day it will be.
Indeed.
I just found on Facebook this lady that I know. She and I used to coach soccer together when my girls were little. She is selling AKC, American Kennel Club, registered puppies. They are blue and chocolate carriers. They're cute, cute little puppies.
How much?
I was going to ask you. What do you think?
I don't know, 500?
A little higher. Mr. Producer, what do you think?
1,000.
Just a wee bit higher.
5,000?
$1 million.
$3,000.
Wow.
For a dog.
Wow.
I think my sister paid $1,000 for a dog one time.
Now, all three of my dogs are rescues. But here's the deal. If I'm paying $3,000 for a dog, somebody else is feeding it. Because I don't have the money to feed it after I paid $3,000 for a dog.
I was about to say, why you got to get the rescue animal? Why don't you just go and buy one?
Dude. I mean, my last dog was $65 at the Humane Society, and I paid $3,000 to feed it. All right. Okay. So we were going to talk about Robert Mueller. Going after the president's finances. Why? Because there's nothing else for him to do. Hey, you were saying that you read an article where he hired a bunch of Clinton lawyers?
Yeah, most of the people that are on the quote-unquote special counsel with him are connected to either Hillary Clinton directly or the Clinton campaign.
How is that even legal?
That's what everybody, when Mueller started talking about who he was going to be promoting or getting for this position, I should say.
Yeah.
A bunch of these Clinton names started coming out, and people were like, why is he doing this? Of course it's going to end up looking like a witch hunt. At this point, it doesn't even matter what the investigation finds, because it's basically going to be a lot of Clinton conspiracy people saying Trump did this, Trump did this, Trump did this. Even though it's been proven the Obama administration knew that all this Russia colluding was going on before the election.
Be careful with the word colluding, because collusion implies intent to break the law.
Right. Well,
okay.
They knew they were hacking our systems and that they were going to try to influence the election.
The Obama administration knew that there was some, we don't know if it was Russian government or not.
Right.
But there was from Russia hacking. The beautiful thing about the American political system is there isn't one central overarching Department of Elections.
Right.
There is an election ethics committee, but every state determines how its own elections are handled. Primaries are handled in different states. They have open primaries, closed primaries. There are 50 different ways we do elections. So in order to influence the United States election, you got to hack hundreds and hundreds of computer systems.
Yep.
Because it actually goes down to the county level, or parish level, for those of you in Louisiana. And from there, that gets rolled up to the state. I don't think you can't, we're not talking about stuffing ballot boxes anymore.
Right.
If the race is so tight in one precinct where stuffing a ballot box with 200 ballots swings a national election, we have a much bigger problem with our election process, but that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened since Lyndon B. Johnson for the Senate race in Texas.
And most people don't realize, and I think it was Sean Spicer that said that there are hundreds of countries that are trying to influence our elections every time we have an election.
Oh yeah.
So why is it Russia is the only one people are making a fuss over?
Yeah,
so.
it's and the United States government or states or businesses or whatever, our computer systems are hacked thousands of times a day.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. What really makes it amazing to me is that they aren't successful more often.
Right.
So even though you hear about these big breaches and all this other stuff, we got a pretty dang good cybersecurity system going on here.
Hey, one of the states, though, somebody actually did successfully hack some state system and collapse the whole system. I want to say it was North Carolina, but
they weren't. But they didn't actually get in there and to change votes.
Right.
That's the thing about it. So let's talk about the collusion part of it. Now the word treason is thrown around, and you even have well-known liberal attorneys, liberal lawyers, like Alan Dershowitz. He's out there what? You're using the T word.
Right.
What are you talking about? You know, for these people that don't, and here's why they do it. You and I know that treason, the actual law, treason, is in the Constitution.
Yep.
The Constitution defines what treason is, not what CNN or MSNBC thinks it is.
it's pretty specific, too.
It's very specific. But yet, the masses, by the way, when I mean the masses, I'm not talking about Earl, I'm talking about y'all. You don't know what treason is. I might be talking about Mr. Producer. Y'all. Hey, look, he's giving me the look. He's giving me the look right now. Here's the thing. Again, do not take what Earl and I say on this show as gospel. Go do your own research. Okay? Put down the golf gloves. Go pick up a book. Go, and I know this is going to be sacrilege, but don't go fishing one weekend. Actually go and learn how to do this. There's a very specific definition of treason. And it's not what CNN is telling you it is. There's a very specific definition of collusion. If you have collusion is with the intent to violate the law. Gathering information on a political adversary is not illegal.
Right.
Regardless of the source. So if I go to, I don't know, Russia, and I say, hey, Russia, you got any dirt on Clinton? I'm pretty sure you do, Vlad. You know?
Tell me more about that uranium cell.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's collusion. Which, again, apparently there were no laws violated there. They just bought a bunch of our uranium holdings. But we got to be very careful. They're using the English language against you as a weapon. Don't let them. There's no collusion. There may have been cooperation.
I think President Obama was thinking that they were going to help Secretary Clinton get elected. I think that's why he let it slide.
Which one? The talking, breathing body double or the mannequin? Did you see the mannequin?
Yeah, nuh-uh.
You notice that you can't find pictures of the mannequin anywhere where she was in the park and she was like, and she seized up and they had to put her on a dolly and wheel her out of there. Who's that? That's Hillary Clinton. She's stiff as a board. Next thing you know, she shows up with blue glasses on.
Yep.
Because she's got a neurological problem or whatever.
Because that was after her fall.
Lyme disease or whatever the heck it is. I don't know.
No, she had that fall. Remember, she fell
in the ratings
over one of the breaks, and she supposedly hit her head. Because that's why she missed some important voting thing that was going on. That
I like how you said that. Some important voting thing. Yeah, that's okay. However,
her whole attitude, though, the entire election, the entire campaign, her entire attitude was completely bizarre. But that's a whole nother story. Looking at the balloons flying and everything.
So the Clinton campaign, they got dirt on, or the DNC at least, the DNC got dirt on the Trumps from the Ukrainians. And I would go ahead and say that the DNC under Debbie Wasserman Schultz and John Podesta absolutely had the intent to break the law.
Yeah.
Agreed. If they could have, they would have. If they had thought that this election was going to be as close as it was, they'd have cheated their pants off.
Yep. Obama did it by having millions of dead people vote.
Oh, we could talk about them when we come back. We'll talk about the President's Commission. We'll talk about the President's Commission on election integrity, because that's getting some heat.
It did. It got a lot of heat.
When we come back, we'll talk about that. That's a great segue. Thank you, Earl. It's Yesterday's News with Earl and George. And here's the deal. If you don't wear flannel shirts, you should. Chicks dig them. And grow a beard. That's all I'm saying. We'll be right back.
Listen, as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back. It's Yesterday's News with Earl and George, where men come and learn how to make quiche and women come to learn how to clean chainsaw blades. And frankly, we really don't care what you think. It's a Saturday afternoon, and we're wrapping up the week's political commentary. Man, I'm this close, man. Hey, we got any more Mr. Pibb in the break room? Mr. Producer, or Joe drink it all?
I don't drink Mr. Pibb in the morning.
That's the only thing that goes well with the Captain Morgan I got in my office. All the rest of the sodas in there taste like crap.
I see.
But that Mr. Pibb, man, it's rocking with the Captain Morgan. I will drink this refreshing, gluten-free, calorie-free, vegan water.
Sugar-free?
I have in my...
It's organic, too.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I thought most water wasn't organic now.
And when I'm done, I'm going to hand it to my friend Earl, who's going to find a place to recycle that bottle.
I got a place for it.
Because I'm not doing it. I bet you do. Hey, before the break, you brought up a great segue into the Commission on Election Integrity. Interestingly enough, how long has the United States been around? 237 years? 234 years? It's 230-something. Look it up. I think it's 237.
240.
Is it 240? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it took 240 years for us to get a commission on election integrity. Really? You'd think that would have been right from the outset there. Well, or they didn't lie when they started it.
Well, then, there was that whole civil rights thing that happened that kind of threw voting off, too.
No, actually made voting better, because I believe every citizen should have the right to vote. One vote, every vote. One vote, and every vote counts. No poll taxes. Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter what gender you are. Because, there's only two. And, go to the website, leave a complaint department on the website. It's called Email Somebody Who Cares, because we're not it. It doesn't matter. Everybody gets one vote, and everybody's votes count. That's all I want. If you think you deserve two votes, or
every living person.
Yes. Every living person. Thank you, Earl. I once ran for office.
I know.
I was soundly defeated, which is fine. It's fine. Okay? Kind of the way Kid Rock is going to be. But that's,
I don't know.
Please, the guy's going to whatever.
I don't think...
We'll talk about that later. So I was defeated, which is fine. I was in a 3-person race. I had the worst place on the ballot. I was actually leading right up until the time people cast votes. And in fact, when they started counting the precincts, I was in the lead. I was right out of the gate, and then it went all downhill from there. But it was a 3-person race. So I didn't want to be in a runoff, so I lost outright, which is fine with me. The two of them, they went and did their thing, and it was whatever. But the voting rolls is what I want to talk about. It's public domain. Secretary of State, I think it's a friend of yours, right?
Yep.
Here in Alabama, great state of Alabama. You can buy it. You could actually go online to your Secretary of State's office, wherever you are in the country. More than likely, you can go online. If you can't go online in your state, you can actually call them and say, "Yeah, I'd like the voter to buy the voter list for this county or whatever your precinct is, and I want you to base it on this demographic information."
Wow!
I want the people that are voted that are registered Republicans that voted in the last national presidential cycle, and they'll click, boom, there you go. And you pay like pennies on the name.
Dude.
So it's like 0.2 of a penny per name, depending on where you live or whatever your state does. But it's open. So the president's commission on voting integrity comes to these states, right? And he's got Jeff Sessions, and I love Jeff Sessions. He was our state senator because we're from the great state of Alabama. Everybody, roll Tide.
If you didn't pick that up yet,
we make rockets and stuff, and then Mercedes-Benz
and plastic bottles
and sweet freaking tea. And by the way, Biola Battery is the place to get the best shrimp. I just want to point that out. Now, what was I talking about? Oh, the commission. Okay, so Sessions sends a letter to the states and says, send us your voter rolls. Because apparently if the states can't keep dead people from voting, the feds will.
Right.
So I find it funny. Some states are like, nope, you can't. Sorry, Mr. President, we are not going to send that. Sorry, Mr. Sessions. Sorry, Secretary said we are not going to get it. You may be the Attorney General. You may be the top lawyer. You may be the top police officer in the country.
But we're not complying.
But we are not going to comply with you. When Joe Blow on the street can go to the Secretary of State's office and buy the exact same list. Oh, yeah, Phil? Yeah, no problem. Give him to Phil. But we're not going to give him to these guys. You know why? Because Phil isn't going to be going, hey, I know Sally. She passed away 3 years ago.
Right.
Wait a minute. She voted for Obama, or she voted for Clinton.
And plus it'll go to prove what President Obama's been saying, President Trump has been saying about President Obama having millions of possibly deceased people vote.
When you have 105% of the votes in a population, based on population, we have a problem. So again, stark why has it taken 240 years for us to have a commission on voting integrity? Because we actually used to have voting integrity.
Yeah. I blame Johnson.
Johnson?
Yep. Because of some of the things that he did that forced certain people to do certain things and had people thinking they could get away with a lot more.
I'm waiting for you to explain it.
Well,
why do you blame Johnson for the way our election process is?
Johnson, there's been some stuff in the press about Johnson saying things that changed how people decided they were going to vote, and it started this kind of shift in the political landscape of people that started realizing they could get away with doing certain things that maybe they couldn't have gotten away with before. There's a famous quote that Johnson said that turned just about every African-American vote towards the Democrats, and then the Democrats realized they could use that to their advantage. Not only did they use that, they started playing around with a lot of the voting rights and stuff because they challenge, like here in our state, you got to show your ID. Since I've been voting,
God forbid you have to prove who you are. Oh, no.
But see, I've been showing it since I started voting.
Right.
And it wasn't even a law until recently that you had to have ID to go and vote. Only until recently in this state did it actually become a law.
I love it how they say, well, that puts an undue burden on the voter. Let me ask you, don't you have to go to a specific place with your name on a specific list? Doesn't that place? I would think that something I carry around in my wallet that I have to show to buy alcohol at 50.
They're trying to say that not everybody drives, so therefore everybody wouldn't have a driver's license.
It doesn't matter. They still have to go to a specific place. I would think that would be something that is more undue hardship than carrying around a small piece of plastic.
Because it could be like 20 miles away from where
not everybody drives. You can have state IDs. You can have all these other things.
Yeah, you got to have some kind of identification.
Right. But my point is that proving your identity in society today is rather easy, right? Be like, how do I know you're you? Google me. If my LinkedIn profile doesn't come up, right? So
you got a Facebook.
But for those people that don't drive, getting to the polling place is the undue hardship. But no, that's not a problem. It's having to prove your identity. Well, that disenfranchises certain voting blocks. Well, why? Don't they have to prove themselves? Don't they have Social Security numbers? Don't they have to file their taxes? Don't they have to do the exact same things I have to do as an American citizen?
Illegal voters don't.
How does a dead person show their freaking ID?
Well, they do it in most of these places like Philadelphia. Philadelphia was one of the places, even though it went our way this time, it was one of the places that was riddled with supposedly dead people voting for President Obama. Plus, he had the new Black Panthers standing out at every voting place.
Okay, slow down. He didn't have them do it. Okay?
Well,
slow
put
down.
your tinfoil hat on. I think he did, but
slow down. I'm pretty sure President Obama didn't call up and go.
He encouraged it.
Jamal, I need you down at 12th Street. Okay, it's not how that happened.
He definitely encouraged it. But yeah.
Well, he encouraged it by not prosecuting the two guys standing there with a baseball bat.
It was a little bit more than two, and a couple of them, and they were standing there with
the famous one where it's Lynch didn't prosecute those guys, or no, it was before Lynch. It was what's his face,
Holder,
Eric Holder.
Yeah, and there were some that were standing there with AR-15s, but they weren't bad when they were in their hands. But that's another story.
Yeah,
there was one of these
scary
big Breitbart did a whole story on it because this old couple was trying to get in to vote. It was this big, it looked like a city or a judicial building that they had to go vote at, and there were like 6 of them standing up on the federal ground with an AR-15, not letting people go in that were white. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
They were barring them from going in the building.
Yep.
See, that's a violation of federal law.
Of course it is. But when it was brought up to national media didn't really bring it up or talk about it. The only people that talked about it was Breitbart and a couple of others.
And now he's dead.
Yeah.
Conveniently dead of a heart attack.
Yeah, 2 days after he said he was going to release Obama's college tapes of President Obama in college. But that's a tinfoil hat thing.
Hey, did we pick our douche of the week? No.
We haven't said who the douchebag
of the week. We need like a fancy, and now, the douchebag of the week. Yeah. Oh, he's got some here. You just made him do some sound effects. No, I would like, we're going to get all the fancy, we're going to get some fancy sound effects. We need a big guy with a deep voice be like, and now,
Walter Cronkite.
The douchebag of the week. Do we have any nominees for douchebag of the week, Mr. Producer?
Well, I thought
we already chose it, but I just want to say from now on we will all give a nominee. I guess.
Okay.
Well, I got a nominee, but it's going to piss a lot of people off.
Who is it? What is it?
John McCain.
Why is John McCain? By the way, he is widely known as the douche of the week. Why?
Because he's ultimately the one that held up the vote on.
Because the man has brain cancer.
Well, but it was originally it was he was getting
something about a blood
clot. Yeah, he was getting a blood clot removed, and then it turned into brain cancer. Conveniently. I have no sympathy.
I can't believe I'm sitting at a I definitely need a drink now. I can't believe I'm sitting at a table with a man that would call the guy. It's like he held up the vote on the repeal. Why? He has brain cancer.
Well,
and then say it was convenient.
Yeah, it was convenient.
He's conveniently got brain cancer.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Yep, that's me.
Wow. I don't like all the stuff going around like, well, God bless John McCain, blah blah. Right. Yes, I get it, but you know what? By the way, 5,000 other people in America were diagnosed with exactly what John McCain has, and I'm not. I don't know them either.
I don't think our elected officials though should serve a life appointment. And he's been in there, like 6 terms now? 6 or 7 terms.
Oh, he's not even one of the bad ones.
I know. What's his name died in there? Was that really old racist guy that was there? I can't even think of his name yet.
Yeah.
Stroman?
Pretty much all of them are really old racist guys. Doesn't matter who they are.
According to who you are, yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Producer, you have a douche of the week nominee? No? Okay. I was going to... Believe it or not, I was actually going to say the president.
Yeah, for
Sean Spicer.
Yeah.
He rolled that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he really, really rolled that guy. However,
I was conflicted between him and
unanimously chosen earlier in the show, backstage, if you will. The Douche of the Week award goes to... Do we have a drum roll?
No, we really don't. We should. We have a cosmic rim shot. That's about all that we have.
You have a cosmic rim shot? Okay, let me announce it. Then give me the cosmic rim shot. Stop with the porn jokes. The Douche of the Week award goes to the entire OJ parole board. Congratulations! Hey, congratulations!
I also have this. We can do this. It's got a couple seconds delay, but
you are all giant douches. So congratulations. Yeah, we need to up our production game, don't we?
A little bit. These buttons have been there forever.
It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. All right. So when we come back, I did want to talk about there's 2 things I want to talk about: the North Korea travel ban. And
which I didn't know we had to be banned from going to North Korea. That was a shocker.
That's why I wanted to talk about it. Yeah, it took the death of Otto Warmbier to be like, maybe we shouldn't go to North Korea. Huh. And community colleges of California, the chancellor says that a test in algebra is a civil rights issue. We'll be right back. Yesterday's news with
Earl
and George. Don't go anywhere.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You're bringing your daughter to a pop concert. Do you A, wear earplugs?
Isn't this fun, Dad?
I have a soft pretzel.
Or B, just roll with it?
Justin! OMG! I love you, Justin! I love you!
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It's Marvin. One of the greatest movies ever made.
Indeed. One of the greatest scenes, too.
It's Marvin Berry. I would like to point out that I have not combed my beard since it was pointed out by
Really?
Mr. Producer.
Wow, I'm impressed.
You've been watching me like a hawk, don't lie. Welcome back. Yesterday's news with Earl and George. Yeah.
That's not completely true. When he put the comb down, you did.
Well, what I'm saying is, since we do it, shut up. Don't judge me. Community college chancellor in California.
Yeah, I didn't hear nothing about this.
Is proposing to get rid of a requirement that all students, in order to graduate, have to take an intermediate algebra.
You said community college?
Community college chancellor in California. The guy's name is Eloy Oakley.
Okay, so this is what I know about California schools, and at least this is in the high school.
Mr. Producer, everybody.
That, because in Alabama, you have to, the SAT or the standardized test, you have to pass all 5 subjects and all this to graduate and all this. Over in California, you only have to pass math and science. That's all you have to do.
Wow.
Well, not in math.
That explains a lot.
Apparently not math anymore.
Not algebra.
Now it's just science.
Oh, well, there you go. Hey, what's wrong with science? Why do you say it like that?
Eloy Ortiz Oakley. Some of his parents hated him. Your name is Eloy. You know where that comes from?
Nope.
No.
Comes from the Time Machine.
The book?
Yeah. Remember the Eloy? That was the people. You had the Morlocks and the Eloy. They named their kid after futuristic food.
I'm sorry, Gene.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Gene, but I can't believe that you didn't name one of your daughters off of, like something from Star Trek or something.
Oh, yeah. I would have named her like... I'm sorry. Who are you talking to?
George.
I would have named her like, Phaser. Or something.
Really? Phaser?
Photon torpedo. That's my daughter, Phaser. Eloy Ortiz Oakley, Chancellor of California Community College System, made the suggestion during a recent interview with NPR.
There it is.
Yes, there it is. Calling the requirement a civil rights issue. Specifically, let's just get to his quote. Quote, "We are proposing to take an honest look." Hang on, let me do my Eloy Oakley voice, right? "We are proposing to take an honest look at what our requirements are and why we have them," Oakley said, adding that the college system he leads is going to look into, quote, "other math pathways." Based on, I added the E, by the way, that's the editor's. Based on research in other colleges across the country, Oakley said that other math pathways, it's math.
Right.
By the way, here in Alabama, a couple of years ago, we had a huge dust-up about a teacher testing measure, and it was shot down because the math portion of the test was found to be too difficult for Alabama's black teachers. They said it was racist because it had math in it. You didn't hear that?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? I specifically
vaguely remember it.
I specifically remember that, yeah. And I was like, it's math. 1 + 1 is 2. No, it ain't. Okay. Whatever.
If you say so.
He took a further step, suggesting that dropping the requirement would not only benefit students academically,
How?
Well, I mean, you don't have to take a class. That's one less class you can fail because you're an idiot California community college student.
Right.
By the way, I have nothing wrong with community college. I love community college. My daughter wants to go to community college and then go off to become a chef. So there you go.
It's just California.
Let's see. Would not only benefit students academically, but also portrayed it as a civil rights issue. Quote, Oakley said, "This is something that plagues all Americans, particularly low-income Americans." Did he just say black people are poor? That racist bastard. So apparently, income inequality is a civil rights issue, according to this Nimrod. If you think about all the underemployed or unemployed Americans in this country, still quoting, who cannot connect to a job in this economy, which is unforgiving of those students who don't have a credential, the biggest barrier for them is this algebra requirement. It's what has kept them from achieving a credential. Well, then pass the class.
Right. Don't get the credential.
Pass the class. No, pass the class.
But if you don't pass the class, you don't get the credential.
I failed the class. What are you going to do? I don't know. I'm going to go around the country. I'm going to bitch about it. I'm going to say it's a civil rights issue. I'm going to hire a bunch of lawyers. I'm going to get the chancellor of the community college in California to say it's racist. Or go back and pass the stupid class.
Because you're not paying for the college anyway.
Well, I mean, it's community college. You pay a little bit, right?
But if they're low income...
Currently, the graduation rate at California community colleges is just 48%.
Wow.
So less than 50% of the people who begin college at a community college in California pass. So the majority fail or drop out of college.
So this is going to improve their college number. That's all they're looking to do.
According to NPR, this includes the number of students who either graduate with an associate's degree, so that not even a full degree, and those who transfer to four-year college within 6 years of starting at CCC. Oakley didn't dispute the dismal graduation rate. Oakley didn't dispute the dismal graduation rate and further disputed that he is taking the, quote, easy way out, end quote, by simply dropping the requirement. How in the world do you dispute that? How do you say this is not the easy way out, but I'm making it easier? Let me go back here real quick. Suggesting that dropping the requirement would not only benefit the students academically. Let's skip down a little bit. And further disputed that he's taking the easy way out. This is idiotic. Oh, nothing could be further from the truth, Oakley said. Since the 50s, we decided that the only measure of a student's ability to reason or to do some sort of quantitative measure is algebra. What we're saying is we want as rigorous a course as possible to determine a student's ability to succeed, but it should be relevant to their course of study. There are other math courses that we could introduce that tell us a lot more about our students.
You mean like playing with blocks? Like this block plus this block?
No, that's algebra. No, that's geometry.
Dude, how sexist are you? This block plus this block? What about the circles?
Well, I left out the triangles too, but
everybody in your vision must fit into the little square peg. Is that what you're saying?
No.
You racist bastard.
That's not what I'm saying at all, George.
That's good. There's an argument to be made that much of what we ask students to learn prepares them to be just better human beings. Oh, my God. Allows them to have reasoning skills. Yes, it's called math.
And these are going to be the future people that are demanding $15 an hour at McDonald's.
Yes, these are not going to be senators.
Right.
But
hopefully.
Again, the question becomes, what data do we have that suggests algebra is that course? Algebra's, I mean, let's be honest. Basic algebra.
That's what I can't get over. Why is it a college course? Shouldn't it be a little bit more, shouldn't it be something up from algebra if it's in college?
My daughter.
Like trigonometry?
My daughter, I'm so proud of her. This is a dad mom. Wants to be a freaking rocket scientist.
There you go. That's what's up.
Right? She wants to design and build the next stage, next level of American rocketry. Right? Well, now she absolutely hates math. hates it. Her mom sucks at math. I love math. My daughter, hates math. You know what she does? Studies her freaking wild Mongolian ass off.
That's what you have to do.
What?
You had to drop it in once.
And she pays the bills, man. She sits in her classroom at 1 o'clock in the morning. I have seen her, and we homeschooled our kids all the way through high school. I have seen her in algebra and trigonometry. Calculus in high school. She hates math, but she will sit there at that dining room table until 3 o'clock in the morning, driving it into her brain. And that's why she is AB honor roll. That's why she's got a high 3 GPA. Because she puts in the work. What are they doing in California? Removing the work.
Right. Like they've done everything else in the country.
I'm sorry. This is, and okay, man, get ready for some music because hopefully this is the end of the show here. This drives me crazy. Ready? These guys are like, well, this algebra requirement, it's a civil rights issue.
It's racist.
We've got to remove this because it doesn't really tell us who our students are. So let me get this straight. What you're saying is black people are too stupid to do algebra, you racist pig? We have to remove that from them to jack up your graduation rates?
Yep.
How? You are the problem.
And
set the standard. Let the standard be the standard.
Teach.
If you don't meet the standard, try again. Build incentive. Build in the big picture. Build in the motivation. Build in the drive. Build in a work ethic. I am not a brain surgeon. I am not an attorney. I am bad at a lot of things. But I put forth the effort to be good at it, to try. And if I don't meet that goal, I'm not going to start begging on the street and saying, oh, wounded warrior, somebody give me money. That's not a mentality that's been driven into me. But they are building it into the college students in California, and I would dare say around the world. Oh, I'm sorry, Snowflake. You can't pass algebra?
You don't need to.
You don't
just
need
take
to.
it away.
Go be a doctor.
Nobody uses algebra.
Yeah, nobody uses that. I mean, NASA does, and I do. And what do I do? Right. I'm a project manager. And yet they claim that what were you going to say, Mister? I'm sorry.
I was just going to tell you to calm down, George. But I was going to talk about something else. But you were on a roll, so I was like, I'm going to let him go.
Yeah, two things. First, never tell me what to do. And here goes.
Respect your elders.
Here it goes. And two. I don't like this. This kind of leads into this whole affirmative action thing. When you think that lowering the bar for one group of people helps a group of people, you are an idiot.
It's actually like poison. You're actually making the chains weaker and weaker and weaker until the point
exactly.
It breaks.
And that's all we had for 8 years under Obama anyway, though.
And when you say, well, you know what? I mean, according to affirmative action, I know you can't compete with all the other people here.
Right.
Why can't I do that? Well, I mean, you're black. I have to lower the standard for you. Well, you know what? I know you can't compete with all the other people here. Well, why is that? Well, you're a woman. How insulting is that?
It's pretty messed up.
How crazy is that? Instead of saying, work hard, do your best. You know what? Maybe you're not cut out to be a rocket scientist. George wasn't. But George's daughter is putting in the work. Maybe she's not cut out for it. Maybe she's going to hit a level of math that she just does not comprehend. Maybe she's going to run into something that she can't do, but she's going to drive herself and be the best she can be. But not because someone sits there and says, well, George's daughter, you're a woman, so I'm going to lower the bar for you. That would piss me off.
Right.
No, I would look at them and say, force her to meet the standard. Force her to be better. Because you know what? I know she can do it, and she knows she can do it. Don't judge her based on her sex. Don't judge her based on her skin color. This guy, this Oakley guy in California, if I was a black student at a community college in California, I'd be pissed.
But they don't see it that way.
No, they're not, because they've been indoctrinated into it. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets a hand up. Everybody cradle to grave. You can't meet the standard, we'll lower the standard for you.
They even said the phrase "work hard" is racist.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Melissa Harris Perry or whatever her name is on MSNBC. She stopped a guest from talking because the guest said he didn't believe in classes in this country because we don't have classes, because you can do whatever you want in this country if you work hard. And she said, okay, let me stop you right there. When you say work hard, I envision the slaves back in the slave days. And
well, that's your problem. Then I would have said that's your problem.
Yeah, but he was just
not
stunned.
mine.
He actually said, are you kidding me? And she said, no.
Well, it's work hard, play hard. Everybody knows that saying.
Well, they're changing it. Yeah, they're changing it now. Mr. Producer's racist.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up here. Guys, I want to thank you guys all for joining us today. My name is George.
Earl.
You say my name is Earl.
My name, I can't do that.
You can't just go Earl.
I can't do that. It's a TV show, but my name is Earl. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook.
Thank you, Mr. Producer, for your time. Thank you guys for tuning in. By the way, don't let anybody tell you can't do something. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not good enough. Set a standard for you and your family and your life, and get out there and blow that standard out of the water and show them who you really are. We'll catch you next week. It's Yesterday's News with Earl and George. God bless.